I know that you've all been prepared for this, but I thought I'd just remind you just the same.
Can you handle that, Blondie?
Game over, man. Game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
It was pure evil.
I want to buy some radio ad time.
Alright, and we're back from the break. Thanks if you're still with us after this fucking insanely long episode, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. We said we wanted to go through 6 movies, and here we are, Noel. I don't think we could have done it in any shorter time.
No.
Especially,
I think we could have done it in shorter time if we didn't have to have some sort of personal stake just based on the shit we love in the franchise.
Yeah.
If I was asked to describe a couple of fucking rom-coms or something, we would have gone, I don't know, like, he's like, he's with the bad guy, but then good guy, so yeah, it was good that way.
Yeah. And then he's just like, ended back up with the good guy. But what did you think of, like, so after a long time, it seemed like the Alien franchise looked like it was dead and buried, and we didn't see it in another installment for like almost like what, 10 years? Is it like when
97 to what? No, way over 10 years.
Let me check Prometheus here. So what, you talking 20 years?
15, not quite 20, you want to say 17 or 18.
2012, so 15 years.
Was Prometheus 2012?
2012, 9 years ago already. Like it's nearly a decade.
I went to that with Mel, and I remember which come up later because I remember we were watching the first half of the film, and he never talks to her. I hate being interrupted, but he turned around to me and said, "This is fucking awesome."
Yeah,
we both agreed. It's like it was setting up a lot, but like it would just like
it just kept
unravel.
It just kept setting up stuff.
Kept setting up stuff. As in, like, no, I'm not going to have a pop at like. I wish my films were more high concept. Yeah, no, they went high concept. I'll give them that.
So pretty much what I was kind of going to touch on was we had a 15-year break, and who better to bring the fucking franchise from back from the dead than the guy who originally created it in the first place, and that was Ridley Scott. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm sure, like, I wasn't the only one that their excitement level was fucking gone up 10 levels when we heard Ridley Scott was coming back to direct Alien. Like, or an Alien movie, which we thought, and then all of a sudden we hear that the title is Prometheus, and we're like, what the fuck's Prometheus? And we all know the story of Prometheus. Prometheus was the Greek god that brought fire down to the man, and he was cast aside to hell or whatever.
Every single person in the world knows that. I'd be shocked if anyone in the world wasn't aware of that exact Greek mythology.
I just realised my microphone was a bit away from me because I was staring at the GG show. Sorry if you had any sound problems for the last couple of seconds. So what did you think of Ridley Scott returning? Obviously, it's a new mythos. They're not going to, like, we all wondered how they're going to expand Sigourney Weaver, like, for lack of better terms, aged out of the role. And Ridley Scott was going to go back to the start. He said, the story I want to explore is the derelict ship that they found on LV-426, and I want to explore what happened there with the famed space jockey, the gigantic alien that we've seen that had a chest burster, wound, and he was locked in. And like,
this film did something well, and that was that all of that stuff that we came across on Alien. It was one thing again that the prequel to The Thing did, which is our favorite film, and that was it didn't get everything right, but it spectacularly kind of recreated the actual.
It's not the same planet.
Wait, I thought that the space jockey.
Man, I'm telling you, look, that space jockey is the fucking engineer that attacks her later on. He dies in a completely different way. Seemingly, Ridley Scott said that this was a fucking moon that was close to LV-426 because he didn't want, like, the continuity is different. Like, it's such a simple way to continue the continuity here is like, have that space jockey scene be the last scene. Do you know the way the scene where the engineer gets attacked?
Yeah.
By this gigantic looking face hugger, like a body hugger. But do you know that kind of big squid thing? He gets attacked in the climax, do you remember? Yeah. And then we see the proto-morph or whatever they want to call it. Well, I just think the final scene should have been the scene we seen earlier on where we actually get a glimpse of what the space jockey looked like in the cockpit. Do you remember that one surviving engineer?
Yeah, it was like just huge. You didn't know if it was an exoskeleton or
exactly.
a suit of armor.
The problem is nobody can claim that was the same the same engineer that was piloting
This goes, that
Well,
was over
because
my head. I'm going to have to come up with my
because
own.
the space jockey in that had the chest burster wound. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
And he didn't like the least thing they could have done was had that engineer make it to that cockpit at some stage. I think the final scene, instead of showing us that as a little bit of fan service, they're not paying off with it. I think what they could have done earlier on was they should have the final sequence. I think should have been. Are you looking for?
A bit of tobacco, please.
All right. The final sequence I think should have been the engineer gets in his cockpit, tries to fly away, and then all of a sudden the chest burster bursts out of him, and then we see the xenomorph. You know what I mean? Like, and it would have been like the perfect culmination, and then the spaceship crashes.
It's just such a beautiful film for such a long time.
It's a real missed opportunity though as well.
Oh my God, I mean, but there was so much of it that was just, like silliness. Always like this. When we were talking about Alien Resurrection in the last podcast. There was a lot of that I would forgive it because silliness was its main theme.
Yeah.
But when a film thinks it's making, such a highbrow concept, very serious film,
real profound questions.
It's so stupid, it's stupid. There isn't a better word in the English language.
Are you talking about the part where the guy who's like the biologist and he goes over and he starts going gucci gucci goo pretty much to an alien serpent? Yeah. And like as Quentin Tarantino says, you wouldn't do that on Earth to a fucking Earth serpent, like a normal snake. If you see a snake, the last thing you think in your mind is go gucci gucci do. You back away from it,
especially if that's like your actual. No, fuck it being your field of expertise. You're just right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
I have no.
Nobody would. Like,
no.
You know what I mean? Nobody would. Anything that looks like a snake, you know what to back away from.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's ingrained into us from Adam and Eve. The snakes
and
are bad.
especially, is there not like protocols? If you come across something on an alien world that there is these, simple rules to follow.
Yeah.
That
quarantine protocols,
or even just not approaching it. Going back to that one person on the ship who was allowed to approach, almost like the bomb exposal guy.
Yeah.
As in, if you find something and it's potentially, if you find a suitcase on the side of the road and it's suspicious, you call the guy.
Yeah.
And it happened on Grafton Street in Dublin a few years ago. It turned out to be a flute that a busker had fucking left there, and he got a fucking angry call from the guards because the bomb disposal people come in because people don't like to fuck with shit they don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like when this guy just walks up and he's like supposed to be already terrified because they've gone into this so pretty much like they've gone into this they've discovered that there's these similarities in all these different ancient cultures. So they see these 5 planets and then they find out the coordinates of this planet and then they go investigate because they want to meet their maker. They want to see what is the story behind human existence and human creation, how we came to be. And then you go to this place and then the first thing they see when they get in there, they know it's hollow. It's not man-made, but it's like it's artificial structure. And they go in there to see this fucking hologram of all these aliens running through, and one guy's like, I didn't come here to look at dead bodies. I came here for rocks. I love rocks. Do you remember that dude, Sean Harris, who's amazing in the Borgias? And but like I just thought it was ridiculous because they're terrified to get locked there for the night. Remember because of the storm, everybody else leaves and Prometheus pretty much can't bring them back, and they get left there for the night. Sean Harris and the other dude,
the typical stranded for an X period of time, and you have to just survive.
They're already scared enough that they're willing to leave just after finding dead bodies and seeing a hologram, and now they're left there all night on their own. And the first thing they do when they come across a snake in an alien planet is your man walks up and goes pretty much Gucci good, yeah, aren't you good, aren't you gorgeous? So I was like, yeah, that's why you die first, dude.
Yeah, that's why you die first. You know what? And can you die without me dying?
Yeah.
Because if you got into if you went up to a line and went coochie goo, but I was in the safety of my own, like of whatever, like the vehicle, the enforced vehicle that I'm in, I'd be like, Vinnie got torn apart by lines. Not going to get me torn apart by lines.
roll up your window.
just as you're screaming for help. Just not making eye contact with you and rolling up a window.
And then all of a sudden that fucking snake thing starts breaking his arm, kills him pretty much, and Sean Harris gets killed. And then because we see him later on, he's mutated or whatever. But like that's not only
the... find out that kind of shit, that it mutates.
The goo.
It's got two modes, mutates or kills.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, because it either breaks down your cells or mutates them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, either way it mutates your cells, and it either results in complete and total corrosion of the cells.
Do you think it's a case of how much you take? Because we see with Holloway, he takes a droplet, and I don't think it's killing him. I think it's mutating him.
Yeah, actually, you know what? There has to be a factor that, as in,
like a tipping point.
I didn't agree. Actually, to be honest with you, for the first half second, I didn't agree with you because I thought it was just literally a case of, you know, like sometimes, like not to get bleak or something, but even just cancer treatments or anything in the world. It affects certain people in certain ways, and even now we don't really know why or how, and it's just about your genetic makeup. Some people tolerate things better than others, but there's no way that 5 milliliters of it versus 5 liters of it can't make a difference. Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what I was thinking. Like, because when you see Sean Harris's character, I'll check the guy that loves rocks. Where the fuck is he?
My favorite hobbies are rocks and surviving.
Fifield, when we see, like, because he gets exposed, but he doesn't get such a big dose, and he's kind of mutated later on, like, you know what I mean? And like I was going to say to you, like, the snake scene is, like, because as you said, it's a real highbrow movie with a real high concept. But like even earlier on in it, we see Holloway takes off his helmet. They're like, "Oh, the air readings are saying that it's not toxic in here." And as I said to you, it's like I'd be there for 2 fucking weeks, and I would not be walking around without that suit on.
I would think if we ever get to that stage of technology, I would think that, like, obviously, if I went out there with a limited air supply, I would introduce I would have a device that introduces the ambient air, and filters it. Because, like you absolutely said, like I said, remember the end of the War in the Worlds? They're absolutely about to destroy all of humanity, and they drop dead. Yeah, because they simply, and we were talking about that island off the coast of India that neither of us could think the name of.
Something Sumatran or something.
And some guy wanted to bring Christ, and he went there, and they killed him straight away. And people were like, he could have, like, Jesus, I'm not happy that anyone's dead, but he could have introduced stuff that me and you have been getting over. Like, they never had polio. They never had. Then, you know,
could have wiped out
smallpox. They never had chickenpox. They never had any, or they did. We don't know.
Yeah, and
you're introducing.
They have that history too of some British guy going over there and he took a load of them away, and a lot of them died because of because of what's called exposure to, you know, diseases they didn't have immunities to. And
so, like that, and when dumbasses like us know that.
Yeah.
But then again, I guess they've got a film to make and stuff like that. But it is frustrating. Yeah,
no, I just think, because, like...
You know, Ellis, if something was rolling towards me and it was about to crush me, I'd probably step to the side.
Yeah, it was sorry with that. Like, that's how I kept saying. Like,
rabbits. You know what runs the same direction? Rabbits.
Yeah, and it's got a big, massive, like, it's shaped like a C. So just...
Yeah, with a section missing.
Yeah, running to the middle of it.
Yeah. Also,
you know what I mean? That's what I would have done. I would have just like, okay,
I'm sidestep it.
I'd be like, how wide is this thing? I'm going to run to the side. And I'm just going to run straight where the middle is, because wherever it lands, I'll be okay.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have gone on the mission. Is the way I would.
But like, what did you think of? Because like it's such a highbrow movie, and it's got so many kind of silly parts.
This is the thing. It disappeared up its own ass because obviously it starts. It's like they created us, and obviously it's
want to meet our maker.
But it's evolution on steroids. Yeah. It's obviously we're introduced to some sort of black pathogen that can literally alter our cells in a day. Yeah. In a way that our cells haven't altered in the last 40 million years. Yeah. So at the same time, the lack of care obviously set up the storyline. Although to be fair, which android? I get this. Is it Walter?
Oh, David.
It's David.
David is the bad guy. Walter's the good guy in part 2.
And I did like where he slipped just a drop of the pathogen into his whiskey or whatever it was after the conversation. Lousy. Yeah. Where he said to him, because it was a good line in the film, and it had some good lines. The only one that jumps out to me now is this one where it said, why did your kind make me? And he said, because we could. Yeah. And he goes, could you imagine how disappointed you would be if that's what your creator told you? Yeah. And that's an excellent point. Yeah. It's an excellent point. And obviously you feel like it might have even spurned him on to do what he did. And I'm rewatching, I was thinking, God, what if he had given a better answer? Yeah. Or been more sympathetic to him? Because obviously this form of android was not, I don't think they had
too human.
The protocol. It was too human. The protocols weren't in place. It could literally resent. Yeah. It could
be vengeful.
Question. Be vengeful. All the things a human being could be, but on a level that we can't even understand. It has a mortality on its, I don't know, 1,000 years. I don't know. Maybe it burns out after a while, but like, I mean, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. All things going well. Stronger, smarter, more patient. Yeah. Don't fuck with that. Like, don't fuck with that.
Yeah. Why is Holloway's from? As I said to you before we start recording, like at the very least, this android is responsible for your survival when you're in hypersleep. And yet he keeps fucking trash talking him the whole way through it.
Yeah.
Like,
You just
why?
get, you're getting sleep for years and he's playing basketball by himself.
Yeah, he just kept you alive. The only reason you're still alive, this far side of the universe, is because that fucking android kept you alive. So I don't understand why you're so angry with him. Like, and like it seems to be trying to push this agenda that humans are going to hate robots because they're going to inevitably outlive us because they're immortal.
That's old hat.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Old hat.
Yeah.
It is old hat. You know, I'm afraid I can't let you do that, Dave. You know, it's always that if you create something that's so like it's like the ultimate expense of logic.
Yeah.
Where you know that old question, that philosophical question, and it's a runaway tram and it's about to hit 5 people and you can pull a lever and it'll hit one.
Yeah.
Is that the moralistic thing to do? And of course Spock had the needs of the many outweighing the need of the few.
Yeah.
But what if it was taken so far? What if it was like this scientific discovery is worth everything?
Yeah.
What if this scientific discovery is worth everything that had come before, even if it was the Earth?
Yeah.
What if this is just what we should
Yeah,
do?
I think it's just the thing as well is it just answers that question, doesn't it? Like, why are we here? Why are we how we are? Why are we so different in
and we're
everything
having this
around us?
conversation inside of an alien movie.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Which I'm not shitting on because we're up to this point of the film. I'm kind of into it.
Yeah,
but I just felt like it disappeared up its own ass.
I think it was trying to tell a story that that was masquerading itself as an alien movie.
Oh, hugely.
Yeah.
Hugely.
And I think that's the problem people have with Prometheus, I think, isn't it? Like, cause
yeah, I know. I left the cinema. I remember leaving the cinema. I can't believe it's so long ago, but I remember leaving the cinema and I was with a couple of close mates and I remember one friend, Jordan, said, I think that was absolute shit. And I remember thinking to myself, I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I didn't. But I also remember thinking I needed to sleep on it because it wasn't just like an A to B. It wasn't like Hans Gruber took over the Nakatomi building and he was taken out at the end and these people died and it was a great action film because that's so linear. It's just easy to just enjoy or not enjoy.
Yeah.
And that was, and in the case I used just an excellent action film. So yeah, would have walked before my time, but I would have walked out of the cinema going, that was just excellent.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that. That was brilliant and I really, really enjoyed it. So I do get that it was higher brow, and there's nothing wrong with being higher brow, but I thought that it was losing itself in its own philosophy at the expense of a film. Like at the expense of a film.
Yeah, it just didn't feel like, to me, like, you can say what you want about Alien Resurrection, Alien 3, even though they were weaker than Alien and Aliens, but like, it just didn't feel like an Alien movie for a lot of the movie to me. It felt like the alien itself was an afterthought.
Yeah.
Like, it was putting at the end. It's like,
no, but like the alien comes about from our own hubris.
Yeah.
Something like that, you know what I mean? It comes about from the fact that
it felt like
we created a thing that would do this to us.
Yeah, it's to me though, it felt like it just that he read Chariot of the Gods and he believed a lot about Eric Van Daniken.
It comes up later in Covenant.
Yeah, you know, that kind of, it's, to me it felt like that. I just thought he was trying to tell this story and the only way he could get his chances to tell it is if he concealed it within the Alien franchise. Because Prometheus is a lot of things, but to me it does not feel like an Alien movie. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's the major problem with it. And I think like when you look at Alien Covenant, that's the difference between Alien Covenant and Prometheus. You can have a lot of things in Alien Covenant.
But I get that they didn't want to go to a planet and have a quick, and don't forget that this is the fifth.
Yeah.
So,
but no xenomorphs at all.
No xenomorphs at all.
Not once. We see a protomorph at the end.
We see a protomorph at the end.
Yeah.
So I do get that it was trying to why not layer this out, especially when we've gone the year was 21, 22 something, I don't know.
No, it was 2089 is when they found the...
No, sorry, I know that's when Prometheus is, but when did Ripley in Alien, first film, when was that based? Because that was supposed to be, obviously that was after that.
Yeah.
So obviously we've gone back in time, and obviously that we're supposed to be earlier in the evolution. I always thought that in my head, even as a child, knowing very little about evolution,
21, 22.
I thought the alien was something that probably dominated its own planet at some point.
Yeah.
Through sheer evolution. Just the way we evolved.
That's what you thought it was. No, to me it always felt like it was a manufactured weapon. It was a perfect killing machine.
And then I thought maybe the Predators made it.
Yeah, Predators made it.
At the end of Predators 2, when you see the xenomorph skull, I thought, well, what an absolutely unbelievable killing machine to test your metal against. But anyway, I went back and forth, but this one tried to like make it more. I don't know. They tried to compress it and say, "Oh no, it never existed." But
To me, it always felt like with the Predators and Aliens, their relationship was that the Predators just found them.
Yeah, but like not to jump because the question usually asked me at the end, like how would you sum it up? And I would think that it just I said disappeared up its own ass, and I'll probably say that again, but I do think it's just the hubris.
Yeah,
hubris.
Alien is set in 2122.
So 40 odd years.
2 decades after Alien Covenant.
No, you said 2086 versus 24.
It says 2122. From there, we get into the original films. Alien takes place 2 decades after Covenant in 2122.
Fair enough.
While Ripley wakes up from stasis, and 57 years later in
Yeah,
Aliens.
because they kind of disappear at the end of this film. Like they just kind of go into deep space, basically.
Yeah, and the problem with this film is that to me, it asks a lot of questions that I didn't really get around to answering.
Yeah,
You know that kind
that's
of.
it. Yeah.
That's the problem with Prometheus. I watch it back and I enjoy it every single time. In my opinion, Numi Rapace or whatever, she's a really good actress. But I would have had the lead protagonist be Charlize Theron. Like, to me, that's who I would have had the lead. Like, if you're going to replace...
based on the strength of the actor, the strength of the character, or based on the storyline?
I think, obviously, I would have told
sorry, I suppose the first two are kind of conflated, aren't they? The actor and
yeah, no, to me, I just think in terms of, like, how she carries herself, she's the closest thing to Sigourney Weaver out there.
Yes, and she did not turn out to be that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think, I don't know why he went for this kind of weaker... for final girl, for lack of a better term, or protagonist.
You know when something has to, this is the thing about a prequel. Like, for example, when you do a prequel and you have a character that's in the sequel,
yeah,
obviously they have to survive.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you do a prequel and the sequel has aliens on a planet where nobody was expecting what happened in Alien, and that's why they managed to. I do get that everything has to kind of go tits up in spectacular fashion in a way that you can't avoid. Because you're trying to be in the same universe, but you're also trying to be there. So if we went and watched, and we had a Lord of the Rings prequels. It's not like they could ever defeat all of the orcs or some shit like that, or Sauron. It's
because the later story has to come.
How could you have the later stories? You just simply can't. So it obviously it runs itself into a wall. Now, to be fair, you are constricted by the just sheer context of it. But this. I thought they were just, I don't know, man. I thought it was going to be anything but what it was. Like, I don't get what I watched in Prometheus.
Yeah.
Like, I watched it and I felt like, so me and you have watched 6 films in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
And I watched these 2 and I kind of, honest to God, this segment I was kind of almost dreading because I was kind of going, I don't really get.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like an alien movie.
It doesn't feel like a movie at times. You know what I mean? It feels like it feels like, all right, so he's the bad guy, he's the good guy.
I just think with the way it was structured and the way it played out, that a lot of these deaths could have been alien caused.
So to introduce some structure, Wayland, of course, like they always do, Wayland Enterprises. They knew
Guy Pearce. Lance Henriksen's still alive makes no sense.
They introduced the actual Wayland alive, like the Jeff Bezos of his time.
Yeah.
And he thought that he's key to, if not immortality, certainly longer life.
Yeah.
So it was the corporate interest and the typical android that would help forward that to the best of his ability, so that the crew weren't fully informed. Yeah. And that was word one, day one.
Yeah,
that's word one, day one. The greed of corporation, but in this case, it was just literally somebody trying to live.
Yeah,
but live beyond his time. Like it was again a greed. You had conquered the fucking world.
Yeah,
you were X amount of years old. I don't know, fucking old.
I think as Charlize Theron's character says, like a king is supposed to die. That's the way of things.
Yeah, that's the way of things. Yeah. So I think it was this. Everybody's expendable with me because I am the most powerful man in the world, and it is going to get a point. It already is getting to a point where I think fucking
the rich are separating themselves.
Yeah, but like I mean, somebody put a tweet out that I agreed with because we were talking about all these corporations, top 55 in America, not paying any corporate tax, and so he said, tax the wealthy, tax the billionaires, and tax the going to space is my new quirky hobby.
Yeah, exactly.
Billionaires especially, and because that's where we are. We've had 3 billionaires in space in this 2021 year alone, and this funny, it just like fucking as crazy as something is, like
So
reality is always stranger. But this was that. This was somebody who literally just had the money.
do you think the major problem with Prometheus, though, like when you kind of look at it, is that it set up this high concept, but it never really paid off on it.
Never paid off on it.
Yeah, and that's the major issue.
It didn't have the action. It didn't have the. It almost reminds me of, and this is a completely parallel, absolutely bizarre thing to say.
Yeah.
It was Superman. Remember we said about why Superman Returns didn't work, even though it was a beautifully cast, beautifully executed film.
Yeah.
Was that he had nothing to punch.
Yeah.
It's just this film disappeared inside of its own narrative.
Yeah.
But it didn't give us any, and that's that's not what we were looking for.
Yeah.
And I don't mind.
Black Goo is not as interesting as a xenomorph.
No, and just where's the action, or where's the character that's going to get through it with sheer grit and spunk and fucking all of that kind of shit. It never felt like that, even though it had a heroine at the forefront and all this jazz.
Like, do you know, like, so, and I think the major issue is, like, and I think it's kind of like something that's kind of emblematic of Prometheus, is that in its climax we see the engineer pretty much, kills Wayland and decapitates David, kills pretty much everyone else, but Numi Rapace gets saved. Charlize Theron gets jettisoned. She gets saved for a time. Idris Elba does a sacrifice play with Benedict Wong, who, come on, stop bringing Benedict Wong on space expeditions. Because like, you know what I mean, it never works out well. But like, so hey, they do the sacrifice play, and we get down to Charlize Theron gets crushed by the derelict that's crashing, and you see Numi and Michael Fassbender go into space, and they ask this big question: where did the engineers come from? I want to go there. But they never really kind of fucking answer it. And that leads us into Alien Covenant, where we pick up, and we see this ship, Alien Covenant's out in space.
So we've got one survivor, and she's even survived. She's kind of like
two survivors, because David's still alive.
Yeah, David's still alive. But she's even survived. I said. But she survived her own original chestbuster scene, because she gets the alien out of her in time. And then at the end, of course, we see the what did you call it?
Protomorph, yeah. And then you see the neomorph in Alien.
And it didn't look terrible. I didn't love it, but it didn't look terrible.
Yeah, that scene was kind of cool, but I think that scene would have played out so much better if it's a space jockey.
Even with Resurrection, I thought Resurrection didn't have any. You said it. So you said it in a word. You know when somebody just says it in a certain way, and you kind of go, "That is very simple," but they're not the words I put it into, and it makes more sense to me the way you put it. And you said it didn't have any class. Yeah. And it didn't. It didn't have any class. Yeah. This is almost trying to go the other way. This was like
too much class.
It tried to be like really, really highbrow, but then you were kind of like, do that. Like, make me think about the nature of my own existence. Films do. Like, I mean, do you remember Jake Gyllenhaal,
Donnie
Darko.
Yeah,
like what an excellent film!
Like an encyclopedia for movies over here.
Well, like that film made me question the nature of my own reality, or the fact or the inevitability of life. Yeah, but at no point did I not feel like I was watching a film. Yeah, that was all contained inside of a storyline that I was also able to watch and enjoy. Yeah. So as I was questioning things, because don't get me wrong, I don't want every film to be dumbed down or stupid by any stretch, and it's happening a bit, so I respect Prometheus for it, but there has to be a film inside it. Yeah. And I didn't feel like there was a film inside this. Yeah. I just thought it was silly. By the end of it, I would think, again, I remember one of our friends saying that was shit, and me just thinking to myself, I need to sleep on it. Yeah. I need to sleep on it. As in, there was so much happening, but I remember waking up and going, no. That the first half, I thought the first half was going to set up a really cool alien or alien-esque second half, and it touched upon it. Would like to point out that there was somebody running around the ship at one point with a fire axe, and I remember thinking, what on this ship is a fire axe good for? It could probably eventually be in a panel of window. But I thought that window would be made of like stronger than what we would call steel now. Like, you know, I was just like, fuck, where? And why? Like a blowtorch? Yeah. Now you're talking. That would be like in a catastrophic event. That would be something that I could imagine. That there's a scenario. What the fuck is a fire axe doing when you're in the depths of space? But I thought it was just at the end of it, I was just like, no. And I remember me and Mel particularly, because I think we were the biggest alien heads, let's just say, of going into that. And And while Resurrection was silly, we just thought that was then definitely a one-off, and 3 was weak. But the actual legacy of Alien was huge.
Yeah.
It was spectacular. And then at the end of Prometheus, I felt like there had been enough cheapness introduced to the Alien franchise to make the Alien franchise itself a failure.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, the standalone successes stand, and they're spectacular, and I take back nothing of what I've said earlier. But this time I thought, like, there's been enough bad films.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It's a simple case. We hit 3 bad films versus 2 good ones.
Yeah.
As opposed to 2 bad films versus 2 good ones.
Yeah.
And even one of those films wasn't so bad, it missed the mark.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know, like 2.5
Yeah.
or whatever way you want to look at it. But this was like an extra bad film, and I thought, this is bad for the franchise.
Yeah.
It's just bad. I just thought it hurt.
And do you think, like, because we're running long like a motherfucker, dude?
Oh yeah, let's get into Covenant.
Do you think, because of that reaction you had, and I think it's the same same reaction many people had, that we saw a lot more Alien in Alien Covenant, where pretty much the story centers around this colonist, this ship of colonists that go out into deep space. There's a solar flare. James Franco gets killed in one of the shortest cameos ever. And then they hear the signal.
Well, we call. Well, I'm going to say we, because I've said it enough, and I think I'm going to start using it. I call it the Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, so pretty much they hear the signal. We hear from Elizabeth Shaw, "Country Roads, take me home." They follow that signal because no one wants to get back in the pods after the death of their captain. Billy Crudup takes over the role of the captain. It's 2 weeks away, the signal is, or they can go to 7 years for I can't remember the name of the something 6 was the name of the planet. And so, what did you make of pretty much now we feel like the questions that were asked at the end of Prometheus were going to be answered, and we were kind of roundly disappointed. And the reason I'm kind of blazing through this part is because I kind of want to wrap it up not too long. So, what did you make of the execution of the continuation of the Prometheus thing? Because I think, to me, Ridley Scott fell in love with Michael Fassbender so much as an actor that he forgot that the movie was supposed to have xenomorphs in it.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And it came about...
We joked, we downstairs, when I came into the house, you were not so long into Covenant.
Yeah.
And me and you joked downstairs. I was like, at some point he probably wanted like Michael Fassbender, and all the crew played by Michael Fassbender.
Yeah.
And I was like, and the monster? A giant 2-headed Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, but I said he was like, instead of the xenomorph Michael Fassbender
Michael
person.
Fassbender, like, this is the thing. You said something to me downstairs, which I think I might have heard before, to be honest, but I hadn't thought about.
Yeah.
And that was an actor, like, make two for them and 1 for you.
Yeah.
And that's like, be a successful actor.
Yeah.
So you, like, you know, Thor,
Chris Hemsworth.
He now can make a couple of films that, as an actor, he can really sink his teeth into. He's had Thor.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't land, he has Thor, and if it doesn't land the next time, he's Thor. And if it doesn't land the next time, he might be in trouble at that point.
Well, he might have another Extraction movie too.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? But that's what I mean. He might have that one that lands, and even if it isn't stratospherically as successful, which it probably, of course, it wouldn't be. That he has this, but I feel like going into this film that I thought it hurt everyone that was in it.
Yeah.
You know, I just thought I'd actually...
What, Covenant?
Yeah.
You didn't like it, did you?
Did you?
I thought it was alright, yeah.
I thought I had enough scenes. I thought I had that one absolute... Well, Michael Fassbender, I suppose, was the point I was trying to make. Michael Fassbender is a terrific actor who has been in way too much junk.
Yeah.
Like, way too much junk.
Do you want this?
Please.
Yeah. I agree. He's a top class actor. Has been in a lot of shit. But that tends to happen, though. As I said to you 2 for them, 1 for you.
But like, you look, I said, look at Tarantino in the last couple of years. It's like, actually, I watched something Grandad, and it wasn't actually.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually, but I watched it because I hate American comedy.
Dude,
I love American fucking movies.
You're being an off-topic motherfucker today.
Sorry, I apologize.
No, come on, we need to get back on it.
Yeah, sorry.
Because we're at 3-4, like, you know what I mean? We're over 3 hours here. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want to hold people's fucking interest here, motherfucker.
Okay, go on.
Right, no, so I want to kind of steamroll through this movie because we spent way too long on this.
Okay.
But, like, so no, like, what do you think of the continuation? Like, if you look at the big questions that were asked in the Prometheus and the continuation, because pretty much I want to get us right onto this planet. That's where I want us to be, and that's where I want us to kind of power through until the end. You know what I mean? And get through Alien Covenant quickly. Like, so.
Yeah. What was the completely original reason they went down to this planet?
Yeah, because they heard a distress signal.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah, it's probably protocol.
Yeah. Well, and it was 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks away.
And 7 years away.
And 7 years away.
Yeah.
So Alpha Centauri 6 or so. I don't know. I think I'm making that up.
If you nail that, I want somebody to keep a scorecard here for us. If you nail that, 20 points. 20 points.
But what did you think of the continuation? Like, we find out now what happened with Elizabeth Shaw, Noomi Rapace's character, Michael Fassbender's David, to get to the planet, and straight away, like, they're like, oh no, we can breathe here. We're gonna
Let's lose these helmets, people.
No, that's Prometheus. No, this one is they don't even wear spacesuits. They just go down because they're like
saunter around.
Yeah, they just walk around like in Jurassic Park 2 or something. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what? I know it's weird, but I'm gonna lick the grass. Just gonna lick the grass.
Yeah, what did you make of like the dude that gets the first person that gets infected? Because I want to just kind of breeze through this.
It's a brutal death. It's a fucking brutal death.
That's the smoking happens. That happens to smoking.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was.
Do you think Ridley Scott? Do you think this is all about cancer?
I think. Fuck, I don't know. I think fucking in this that I do think that he listened to people. Again, I don't think he landed it. And to be honest with you, when a gymnast goes off the saddle and they say, "Oh, you need to do an extra turn," but you land on the back of your neck and break a spine and you can never compete again, it's still bad.
Yeah.
He he went for that extra turn. So he put the action back in, and also kind of the danger, which I felt was missing in Prometheus, and they have that great scene where the first, I don't know what you call it, protomorph.
No, neomorph is this one.
Neomorph,
as far as I know.
And it's just, they have weapons, but it's just literally just side to side, jumping, absolutely terrorizing, and then disappearing into the long grass. I thought it was fucking cool. I remember just thinking,
it reminded me of the raptor scene in Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Isn't it? And that's it. Do you remember like how much more dangerous the raptors felt than the T-Rex? And I know like the whole T-Rex was blind to anything but movement or heat, right? Extreme heat.
Yeah.
But at the same time, do you just remember like, fuck yeah, it's huge. It weighs tons and tons, and I know it's coming. But this tiny little motherfucker was able to just get at them, and it was brilliant. And some of the deaths were so tragic and so quick.
Yeah. And we see Danny McBride's wife gets killed.
Danny McBride's wife gets killed early on, and there was. I just thought it was a great line.
Billy Crudup's wife too.
I thought this was a great line because I just remember. So everything in a film is always purposeful. You know, if somebody drops a handkerchief, it's purposeful. It comes up. So I love when a line just feels like something somebody might actually say, whether it forwards the storyline or not. I don't think it happens enough in films. But I remember Danny McBride saying she sounded scared.
And she never sounds scared.
I've never heard my wife sound scared before.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I was watching that and I was kind of going, that's an epic line.
Yeah.
And it's not going to go down in the...
Danny McBride's really good in this movie.
You know, get away from her, you're a bitch, or whatever. It's never going to go down like that.
Or game over, man, game over.
Game over, man, or game over, of course. And nor should it. Like, they're more iconic, but I just remember watching it going, just imagine you don't know.
I think about like,
but somebody you love.
Think about like you're a pilot. Sheila's a jump pilot, so she takes the shuttle down to Earth or down to this planet, an alien planet. You just found out about, you know what I mean? And you're in atmosphere, the outer atmosphere of this planet, and you hear that she's scared, and you know that she's never scared. That's terrifying for you, like, you know what I mean? Like, and then you don't know.
I think I've taken way too many moths and spiders over rooms.
But you know what I mean, though. Like, it's like I that's a good scene though as well. But like, what did you make of like the big parts of this movie? Like, because we see they get down to the planet, they get infected. You know what I mean? They find this necropolis, as David calls it later on, and pretty much everyone, this whole homeworld for this engineers that we know as an audience, but they don't know as characters. They've been wiped out, and we don't know, was this done beforehand? When was this done? Was this done previous to the events of Prometheus, or because of the events of Prometheus? That kind of way. And we have all these big unanswered questions. And I really like that scene where they're walking through, and it kind of reminds me of something like Pompeii or something. They're all kind of like calcified and shit, and they're walking through it. And then you have this kind of big introduction, like the scene you're talking about, where actually no, I think the scene I'm talking about comes after the introduction of David, because the scene you're talking about is when they get attacked. Pretty much, Billy Crudup's wife gets killed.
She crawls out of the ship. On fire.
Yeah, Tennessee's wife gets killed, and the guy that
Dallas was the first captain in Tennessee. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, sorry, man. I keep kicking you under the table.
People from Texas though do have a tendency to just be called where they're from.
Yeah,
Tennessee's soldiers just called fucking.
Tennessee's not a part of Texas.
Yeah, where's Tennessee?
Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis is in Tennessee.
Where's Tennessee and Memphis?
No, Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah.
Anyway, that's the geography hour over.
So what did you make of like the big scenes in this? Is like, so you get the introduction of the reintroduction of David, I should say, from Prometheus. And we're like, where the fuck's Elizabeth Shaw, because she sent out the distress signal, and he saves them from the neomorphs, and then he brings them through this necropolis and then up to this fucking weird little palace of death that he has going on.
Yeah.
What did you make of David's reintroduction? His whole kind of like, I don't know, kind of like the Ridley Scott obsession with Michael Fassbender is the problem with these two movies. I think is like, as I said to you before,
we get that the problem. We get that the film probably had problems, but it wasn't Michael. Michael was solid, and in that sense, he's not wrong. The thing is, you have an excellent actor, but he's going to read the script you give him.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying there's a problem with Michael Fassbender. I'm
emphasizing the problem.
Yeah, it's an alien movie. I want more xenomorphs. Just give me xenomorphs and whatever you want to construct around it, as long as there's xenomorphs.
Or controversially, some xenomorphs.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I just think, I don't know why he had this obsession with holding back. I know there's 60 minutes of the first Alien movie where we don't see the xenomorph, but I don't see this obsession with, we got the protomorph, the neomorph, and then we finally get the xenomorph later on. This is
what it is. It's the overcorrection where they try to drown you in what it is they think you asked for.
Yeah, I don't understand. I just like, he made a David movie. To me, it should be called David Covenant. You know what I mean? It felt more like a David movie than an Alien movie, and that's the problem with these films. Yeah. I think Ridley Scott was trying to answer all these questions or ask all these questions, but he didn't have all the answers, and he like kind of got obsessed with his characters, like trying to answer these questions through the guise of David.
And there's always that kind of cool thing where if you do it through an artificial life form, that even like Data or fucking any character that we've seen, R2D2, C3PO, there's always like, you realise that despite the fact that, especially saying like C3PO, despite the fact that he's so cowardly and and so conventionally kind of uninteresting in a way, but there's moments where you realise that he's been taking stuff on this entire time.
Yeah.
And he's and you look at that and go, wow, like, because it's outside of our purview of understanding, because it's ones and zeros, but he's learning it anyway. And there was this kind of like beautifulness to how much he loved Elizabeth. But then you realize that the kind of insane version of, not insane actually, to be honest with you, it became a complete logistics issue to him. What he believed in was, as he famously said, that he believed in creation. I thought it was really fucking cool, especially when they brought on board a model of the exact same Walter, who was and I don't know whether it wasn't that he didn't have the experiences. And when I say that, I don't just mean the shit that went down in Prometheus. I mean even just being a fucking butt boy for fucking Wayland the entire time. Just seeing the frailty and arrogance of people. It was almost like the thing where you take two twins, you literally butt them in Timbuktu, and you butt another one in
Los
Papua
Angeles,
New Guinea, and just what happens in extremely different.
We went so different. You said Papua New Guinea, I said Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, No, Papua New Guinea, so he has a chance.
But what did you think of the whole way it played out? So that, like, we find out that David wiped out the engineers he got there. He's killed Elizabeth Shaw. He dropped all this black goo that was in this ship, because he said at the end of
that's an excellent scene.
Yeah,
that's a literal somewhere in between a cloud and a smog.
Yeah, it's
of
like
just death.
It's an absolute genocide. Like, you know what I mean? He's
100%.
wiping out an entire planet. Like, you know what I mean? We're only seeing the smallest scope of what's really going on. I'd say.
Oh yeah, because we're seeing the epicenter.
Yeah, exactly.
But of course, it just travels.
Yeah, because it kills all wildlife.
Even does it kill just the engineers?
No, it kills everything because it said.
No, but that's what I mean. Yeah, it's complete and total. You're talking about a butterfly on a fucking blade of grass.
He said it was engineered to kill everything that was non-botanical life form. He says that there on, so it kills everything.
Anything upwards from
anything
flower.
that's not a flower. And he uses the flower.
Tree.
Yeah, I think that he uses the flowers to transmit the spores, and that's what we see the guy that's smoking the cigarette, and that's how he gets infected. Through one of the spores or some shit. You know what I mean? Like so.
But yeah, that was when they kind of leaned into the. Instead of having the subterfuge of a Ash or a Beck or whatever it was from the second film.
Who? Bishop?
No, not another android. What was the name of the motherfucker?
Hicks.
Paul Reiser.
Burke.
Burke. Where you had a character inside kind of trying to manipulate stuff. This guy was actually, instead of being like thinking of things through sheer corporate greed or shares, he actually had a mission, and those people are always scarier.
Yeah,
those people are always scary because somebody who's trying to make $1 million can be dissuaded by 2 million.
Yeah,
and you know, and you can just take that into the billions, into the trade. It doesn't matter. You could take that as far as you like.
Yeah,
but he was, in the sense, almost like a xenomorph in the sense what he was doing is what he was doing, and there was nothing else.
Yeah,
he wasn't interested in anything that you could offer him. He literally wanted to see how far he could take
what
devolution and evolution of people.
Yeah, what did you think of him being the creator behind the xenomorph? Do you think that was unnecessary or necessary? Or because we're getting super long here and I want to wrap it up.
It was a slap in the face.
Yeah,
it was a slap in the face.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Because the xenomorph to me, it felt like it was like a shark or an alligator. It just evolved to a state and stayed that way for millions of years, and it just kept adapting because of its host. That's the way it seemed to me. But now, to me, it's to me, I feel like it was created maybe once upon a time, and then it stayed in that sense. I don't know. Like, it's hard to know, like, what I think really sometimes with the xenomorph, because it's hard to know whether or not do I feel like it was created long ago by something as a weapon, and it just happens to stay existing in these different little parts of space, or did I do like? It's hard to know what. Like when you look at the evidence, like from the previous movies before they introduced the engineers and show David as the creator, like it's hard to know. Did nature create it, or like was it
nature created the literal primordial soup, that black tar, and it was literally just.
Or did it though? Or did the engineers create it? That's the thing,
God! See, this is it, and it
answers so many.
That was the depth they tried to have, and it tried to get into this circular motion.
Yeah, and that's the problem with it. And the problem with these two movies, there's so many questions, but like even after looking at these movies like half a dozen times to pair them, I still can't. Like, I'm not saying I'm some expert.
The engineers were killed by what their creation, created. And even that wasn't enough for it. It tried to get into like a chicken and egg thing then with the kind of evolutions and failures and successes of this black tar. It got so stupid.
Yeah, like
and they had a stowaway.
Yeah, a stowaway. Yeah, like what?
Seriously, alien on the ship always, every film.
Before we get out of here, what did you make of the climax of Alien Covenant? Because we're going to just keep running in circles because it asked a lot of questions. It didn't give us enough information to create answers for ourselves. And I think that's the problem with it. And I think that's the problem a lot of people had with Covenant and Prometheus. There were so many questions inside this movie, and none of the answers were xenomorph. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I think so. What did you think of? We finally get to see the xenomorph. We find out David's created it. He's killed off bit by bit the crew of the Covenant. Like, you know, we see Billy Crudup. He gets hit by a face bugger. Something we touched on earlier, he pretty much finger bangs the egg. He's like, oh yeah, this really, really, like he goes, David walks him through a room with that, brings him to a darkened basement and goes, trust me, they're okay, they're safe.
How much you dare me to sit on one?
Yeah, I just thought that was stupid. Like there's like Ridley Scott made a really like interesting pair of movies, but neither of them feel like an alien movie.
Did you ever feel like he got a lot of money to make a movie, but in his imagination, it had already taken it as far.
Yeah.
and quite an imagination.
To me, it felt like he was being a bit spiteful because remember I told you before we started recording about Neil Blomkamp trying to make an alien movie on the scene of set of Chappie. He showed Sigourney Weaver, who's in that movie, concept art that he drew of a potential alien movie continuing on the narration of from Alien 2 cutting out Alien 3 and Resurrection with Hicks surviving, and he had like a scarred eye from the acid burns in Aliens. And like so I just kind of felt like he was kind of like a guy that was taking back his sandbox. When he got it back, he didn't know what story he wanted to tell, or the story he wanted to tell was a different story altogether and that needed to be told in an alien format. And I think that's the problem with Prometheus and Covenant. Even though they're good movies, they're just not alien movies, and I think that's the problem with them. Yeah.
They were trying to like obviously expand the universe in a way where obviously now the time scope. Like, don't forget that Ripley managed to go from X time to like 50 something years later.
57.
To 2097 is how we start.
No, 21, 22.
21, 22, and then it was 50 something years, 57 years later, and then it was 200 years later, and then they were like, what if we go earlier? And then you kind of go now, like when you go to when you actually talk about building a universe, you kind of you're actually talking building a galaxy, as in now we have this xenomorph that's been created. We also have this black tar that's been created. Like we could build almost a monstrous universe.
Yeah.
And to me, I think when I think of it this way, I think it just stinks of greed.
Yeah.
It was just like, if we pull this off, why not have like ones that are based on, I don't know, fucking crocodiles, fucking alligators, or what if there's a planet of fauna that we just completely.
Do you remember that book at the start of Resurrection?
What?
Did you see in the version you watched of Resurrection? Is there a bug at the start of it where it's got like a big mouth and it just zooms in, it's a tiny bug and the guy squashed it with his finger?
Oh God! Yeah,
But
I remember Ron Perlman actually shoots the alien. And he's on the spider and shoots
I was saying that would be me though. I'd like kill a xenomorph. I'm like, oh fuck, spider!
No, your friends would be getting killed by the xenomorph, and you'd use your first bullet on the
spider. But like, so before we get out here, Noel, right? What did you think? Like, do you think Ridley Scott wanted to tell a different story, and the only way he could tell it was by making alien movies?
I think Ridley Scott tried to flex a muscle he didn't have.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I'm quite happy with that sentence.
Yeah, and I hope Noah Hawley's TV series that's coming up is fucking awesome.
See, that's the thing. You learn from. I've read a lot of your writing as well. Anytime I come back to you and I said, like, here's the thing. I think it's always that anything you've got wrong, you've always learned from more than anything you've got right.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm hoping that goes into it. So just because he hit home runs, and then he doesn't by any stretch.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that where he is now is technically a better player, because I'm using baseball analogy for some reason.
Yeah.
Is a better player than he ever was.
Yeah.
And I'm never, ever, ever going to not appreciate the man enough to think that he has that in his war chest. I'm not, simply not. But I honestly don't know. With that said, but I know I'll be watching.
What, you talking about Noah Hawley or Ridley Scott? Noah Hawley, yeah. The guy who did Fargo, did Legion.
Oh yeah, he's brilliant. He's brilliant, and he's seen the successes and the failures.
Yeah,
and if he learns from both.
And he got that longer form storytelling as well with the TV series.
He does, yeah. And he can build a character. Like, I mean, what I know is he can build a character.
Yeah.
And what I know is he's not afraid to kill one off because fuck you. He's in that Quentin Tarantino vein for me of a guy who writes a film for himself.
Yeah.
And if it works, it works. But he's never wrote something to pander.
Yeah.
He doesn't pander. So yeah, I'm hopeful. I am hopeful.
Before we get the fuck out here, Noel, I'm going to ask you the big question, the $1 million question.
Right.
After going back over these 6 movies, after watching all the entire Alien franchise and the different guys it's taken, the different directors, which of the Alien movies is your favorite, and which one would you say is the best? No offense in here, motherfuckers. Too many beers in, too many hours in. Fucking hell. This has been a long episode.
Okay, fuck. I came into your house today with Alien, over Aliens too. Aliens.
Yeah.
I probably just have to say Aliens. I just remember just like having all of that. I feel like you had an extra genre added to it.
Yeah.
And while I'm not going to say that it's as big a horror film as the first one, but I feel like for what it added, it didn't take enough away.
Yeah.
I feel like it was more.
Yeah.
I never been of the belief that, like, again, I said, like, how much I hated the second Matrix, that fighting 300 agents and beating them up was way worse to me than struggling against one. That was amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm not like of that vein, but Aliens, it just worked. It touched my, and it touched the action hero side of me, it touched the sci-fi side of me, and it touched the horror side of me. So that's my answer.
Yeah, and before I get out here, if I want to weigh them all up, Aliens is probably a more quotable film, maybe more enjoyable for what it brings to the table. But in terms of better movie, I think it's definitely Alien.
And that's, you know what?
The only reason I say that is because I think when you look at it, the way it's constructed, the way the characters are, and the decisions they make, and the way the story and the narrative plays out, I just think Alien is, for lack of a better term, more believable than Aliens.
Would you say that if you were story to add, if you had to, in the back of your mind, neither film exists, you think you'd find it harder to write an Alien than an Aliens because of the compactness and just the sleekness?
Yeah, I think Aliens is more reproducible than Alien.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it. That's an excellent answer.
I think that's what it is. In the way, like Jaws.
And I think that's, as a writer, I think that's probably where it's speaking to you in the head.
Yeah.
And I don't, because big is just a number.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, there's many army movies, but Alien is like Jaws in space.
Oh, exactly. It's like, what if, again, I said.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
500 is not storytelling, it's a bigger number.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, if you pick Aliens and I pick Alien, and we'll fight about it as soon as we go off air, and we'll have a fisticuffs downstairs.
As soon as we go off, you'd be lucky if we go off air.
Oh, yeah, I will murder you and
shut this shit down.
I will do violence towards you.
You need to shut. You got about 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right before we go off air, I'm going to do violence. Towards you, aggression.
Violence to your penis.
What?
Wait,
what's going on?
Wait, what sort of fight?
We're fighting. No wrestling borders, okay? All right, so Noel, do you have any more to say on this Alien franchise?
No, I don't. And if you've stuck with our absolute madness, we love you. Please stay tuned.
Yeah, I'd advise any viewer to listen to this in 3 parts.
Please don't listen to this as the first part.
So Noel, all right, we're going to get the fuck out of here. All right, from the Nostromo to the Sulaco to the Prometheus to the Covenant, I'm Vincent Green.
I'm Noel John Toohey.
And we're the last remaining survivors. And we're signing off. See you next time, folks. This is Invasion of Potty Snatchers.
We better get back. Because it'll be dark soon. And they mostly come at night. Mostly.